Sunday. This is Sunday, April 19th, and it's about 9:50. And I'm doing this pretty late because I took a church nap or an after church nap pretty late today. And then I didn't get up and come right in to do this. So that's why I'm doing it late. So if you're seeing it, please join me. Say hello. Let me know that you are around. And we're going to do a brief haul. And I have some things to show you that I have done with the haul items. So, sorry about that. I had to go get my phone in the other room so I can be able to see if I have comments and stuff if anybody decide to join me. So, um, the first thing we're gonna do is turn down my volume. Um, so first thing I want to show you is the haul from Craft Day. I end up buying the Marquise and the bundle. I'm backing up so it won't be all in your face. Okay. This was the diamond press machine. And I picked the turquoise because I also picked up the binder system that goes with it. And I thought it was going to be really great. And so I picked it up for coordination purposes. Thank you, Mr. Early, for joining me on my quick little live. You're so supportive. Wonderful husband. If I don't have nobody, I at least have you. So yep, I picked this up and it came with accessories. It came with one of the folders. It came with some dies. And this die has a magnetic, it comes with a magnetic plate, which will also fit in that binder system. I've already used one of one of the folders that go in the machine. And this is a combination of more than one set. Oh, here, this is the diamond press, and they give you instructions on how to do stuff when they didn't used to give you instructions. So they give you little samples on what to do to show you how to do stuff. When they didn't used to do that, it used to be where you just, looked at the videos and it was whatever you got was what you got. And so, hi, Carlo. Thank you for watching the Crafty Sunday. So they showed you how to some things to do, how to make some cards and stuff. Then we got the storage pouch and some stamp sets. These are the stamp sets that they gave us. Little boy and girl, birthday type of thing, and some sentiments you can use for your cards, and some embossing folders, which I did use so you can see some samples of what I'm doing. Some of my samples, right? Okay, along with this, I bought the what is this called? It's the window set. I bought this along with it. It was an extra set that it's like three of them, I think, and it's window scenes with different windows. So it has the regular window, the curved window, and I got the auto ship. So with the auto ship, you get different windows for the next year. So I'll have different windows and different scenes, and they have little cats and stuff. And I'm hoping they come out with a dog because I don't really have a cat. Then they have this is the window box, the shutter, this right here is the grass, and this is the shingles. And I was going to use the shingles, and I cut them out, but I cut them out in black, which made no sense because my window was black, and then if the shutters are black, didn't make sense. So That was stupid of me. And then we have some dies that came with it. Um, you're going to see these dies, almost all of them, in my samples. And then they have the scenes. And they're like miniature scenes for your cards. Right? And so this was really, really cute. So let me show you some stuff that I did. So remember I told you about the embossing folder? That's the embossing folder with the thank you. So what I did was I used the die. Where's my die? I used this die and I cut out the paper. Then I took the embossing folder and I put this in the embossing folder and embossed it. So that's why it has the nice little rim around it. And for the embossing folders, what you do is to bring out this see that beautiful texture. If you want to bring it out more, I have this thing, and you can use different kinds of sanding blocks. I'm sorry, I'm opening up one of my bags. You can use the sanding block. I have like a sander, but you can use a sanding block like this. And what you do is you take this and you scrape off the top, and it brings out the edges, right? Just like that. It brings it out. If this was, usually you use core paper so you'll be able to see the white. And if you want to really bring out this with some color, what you do is you take one of your, and this is just a little sanding thing. And say you want to transform this pink and add some more color to it. So I'm going to take one of my this is a distressing cube, and you want to add some color to it. And so you will go right on top of it and add color to your design. Well, I messed up my little thank you. But you can add color and make this into a card front, which is what I'm going to do when I get done with this. I'm going to make it into a card front. I just got to remember that I used lilac as my color. So when I go back around this some more, I'll use the right color and not use the wrong thing. So these are my distress inks and distress tools that you can use to do that with, right? Okay, so that was one of the first one. Then I embossed with the other embossing folder to get this cute floral design. And so what you can do to add some texture or add some color or something to them, you could take your markers and go right into these spaces and color right in there. You can color right in there and change the color of the paper. I guess I could have picked one that would show up a little better. Let's see if I can find a red. My Spec Noir inks are right on the floor in the case. So let me see. I guess if I would have did this, there you go. See, and because it's embossed, I'm staying right in those lines. And then the rows will start to show up. And so once you do that, you have color in your design. And you put this right on a card front. Put a sentiment in the middle this way or this way. It doesn't matter. And then you have another card front. And all I did was use the embossing folders for that. This embossing folder or this embossing folder. And if you don't know how to use the embossing folders, it's really, really easy. All you do is, let me see if I can find a sheet of paper. Here you go. If you've never used an embossing folder, excuse my reach across. But what you do is you take a piece of paper, you slide it into the embossing folder, just like that. This is a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 sheet of paper. You take your marquise or any die cutting machine, slide it right in there. And this machine, it's wonderful. It's so light. I'm putting almost no pressure. Look at that. No pressure, almost no pressure to roll that. When a lot of machines, it'd be a lot of pressure. And then once you're done, you have your design. See that? Ain't that cute? And so you can have quick cards by just doing this. Quick cards in a minute. Stamp your sentiment in here, and if you put color on here first, you don't have to worry about doing anything else. If you take some watercolor, or you take some distress ink and distress it first, perfect. Matter of fact, let me show you a quick example. I have these things. Let me see. This works. It's called gilding polishes, right? This is gilding polish. Can you see that? And they have a sponge in it. And when you open this up, like this, you take this and you drag it inside of your polish. And you're not putting, I'm not going into it. I'm just barely dipping and I'm dragging off as I dip. And it gives just a little bit. And you drop it on there. And you see how it's starting to bring up that design. That's what you want. You want to bring up your design. Just like that. And so if I had did my paper first, before I brought up the design, you would have really seen that embossing come to life. But that's what you do. And you just bring up that color and it looks beautiful on a card base. You just bring up that design. And so if you're a person like me who I don't buy anymore a bunch of different colors because I have this type of stuff. And so you see how I'm bringing up the color in there, and then now you can see that design really well. You can start to see the design, right? So now with this design, once it dries, you go and buff it out and get it off the raised edges, put a sentiment on it, and voila, you have a design, right? Simple as can be. So next, this was part of all of the diamond press from HSN. And so let me show you some card fronts that I made. So inside of one of those designs, inside of this one, the one that has the mini scenes, there's this tree. It's a tree. So what I did was, in order to make a card front, I cut it out with that fancy one. Then I took the tree and I stamped the middle one. I stamped this one so it makes it kind of look like it's sitting behind it. And I did this one and it's kind of making it seem like it's sitting behind it. It's really not, because these stamps are made to go together in one little scene. Then I took my black, brown, and a little green. I colored it green. I put some brown in it. Like I stroked some brown in the trees. And I colored down these and put some brown in it. And then I took browns and I dotted like this. And that's how I got it to look like it's sitting in rocks. So that's this card front. So now all I have to do is take this and put it on a card base. Simple as can be, right? All right. Then next I did this, the couch or chair. I thought this was the cutest little chair ever. So this is the stamp that the chair is in, and it's with the potted plant. So when I did this, I was like, oh, that's going to be so cute. Let me put it with the potted plant and make it look like a window scene. But you know what I did? Put it too far. So when it was time, let me see if I can, what did I do with the other, my stamp set? When it was time to put the window on there, put the window on here. So it was time to cut out the window die. You still could see part of that because I put it too far. And even if I cover up that portion over here, this part show. See? So it didn't work out. But there is only happy accidents because now I have a scene that looks somebody is resting. I can put thinking of you and send this card out once I complete the card itself. So I will add a sentiment on it, put it on a card base, which will look something like this. I will mat it like that correctly with the right size, of course. Put a sentiment right here, mat it, put it on a card base, and send it out as a card with the chair and the chair and the flower, right? So it was just a quick way to try to figure out a new to do a scene. But you know, once you mess up, you figure out how to work better. So I did. So I did this one. It's this scene right here. This scene right here. It don't look like much in the actual. It don't look like much as the actual stamp until you actually do something with it and put some color in it. So what I did was I took a piece of paper, just a random old piece of paper. I stamped it. Then I colored it, you know, with multiple colors and cut it out around the window. Then this is that one grass set in the window box, shadow box, and then I backed it with a piece of paper. So now I'm going to take this whole thing and put on a card front. Let me cut a card base so you can see what I'm talking about. So I can stop seeing when I'm going to cut a card base. Let me cut a card base so you can have a sample. All of the cards that I do is either 5.5 by 4.25, or they're 5x7s. So this one is 5.5 by 4.25, a standard, what's called the A2 card base, right? So this is my score pad. I'm scoring it in the middle of it's just a half a sheet of paper. So just think about it. When you're making cards, it's just this easy. It's one 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper makes 2 card bases. Cut it in half, score it in half, fold it in half. That's a card right there. And so generally, if you've ever gotten a card from me that's this size, this is exactly what I did. 5x7s is actually a 10 by 7 sheet of paper folded in half, right? So then what I will do to make this a card, I would take this simple as that. When people say, oh, you don't have time to make a card, you do. All you have to do, it don't take a lot of bells and whistles to make a card for somebody else. If you're thinking about somebody else, get you a piece of cardstock, put you some stamps on there, and send it out to them. Yeah, you could do it straight, unlike what I just did. But we're going to put it like this because it's already down. But look at that. Voila, card. And then you write something nice on the inside and pop it in the mail for whatever it costs to mail a card. There you go. Okay, so then I did that one. Then I was having a lot of fun, so I decided to do this one. So that's this one right here. I just colored it all in the yellow. And what I like about this particular window is these little window panes open up. Ain't that cute? So you're really actually looking as if you were looking outside of a window. And then I just put a thinking of you on it. And I put some, what they call, they're popped. It's popped up. So I have these little things here. a sheet of these. I just cut them in half to make them a little bit thinner. Popped it up and made it look like you're looking from inside outside. From inside out. And that's just a strictly another A2. See how it fits? It's an A2 size also. Then I tried to do a little bit more. I took the sideways view and I did the little tree again. That's what that is. That's that single tree right there. And the little kitty. Can you see the little kitty? It's dark, so I'm going to have to put something to make my little kitty stand out. Let's put some little accents to make our little kitty. Now you can kind of see the kitty. But it's a little bitty kitty right there. See that? Ain't that cute? I have dogs, not cats, but okay, whatever. And so now this becomes a thinking of you card front, and it got the little window shutters. See that? Ain't that the cutest with the little window shutters on it? Focus, camera. See that with the little window shutters. And the little kitty is looking at the tree, longing to be outside because he's social distancing too. Right? And so those are some examples that I wanted to show you. But I really wanted to do one instead of just showing you. I wanted to show you a few techniques. And so, do I have any? Which are you ordering your kits from? Where am I ordering the kits from? I get the stuff from everywhere. But there was just a crafting decalo at HSN. And I went to HSN, and that's where I got the marquise from and the diamond press. I got that from HSN. That's the Home Shopping Network. And you can go on there, set up you an account, and they have what's called Flex Pay, where you can pay $20 a month for 6 months. Or like some of the kits are $20 and you can pay $6 and some change a month, and it's just like an automatic draft type thing. So you can do that also. Any Christmas, I have a few Christmas designs. I don't really do a lot of holiday specific. Like if you see my room, I have a lot of stuff, but I don't have anything holiday specific as such. But I do have a few Christmas. I'm going to be doing a series on Christmas stuff. It's going to be called the Shaker Card. And I'm going to be doing Christmas Shaker cards like what do you call those things? Christmas trees and I want to call them baubles, but that's not what we call them. We call them ornaments. In the UK, they call them baubles. Ornaments and everything Christmas. So I will be doing an episode on Christmas stuff. And as soon as we get out this quarantine, you can come on over and we can have some fun and do some stuff. Okay, so what I did was I wanted to show you a couple of examples on how I did these designs. Just something really quick, nothing too fancy. And why did I put those pins up? Okay, really, Chineva. Okay, so first of all, I wanted to show you this right here. This right here is the die cuts that came from here. These are little die cuts, flowers. And so this is what each one of these is to make these little flowers. That's what these are. I don't really like little bitty tiny pieces like this, but when you're making one-offs, two-offs, it's okay. Because you end up with a lot of little bitty sheets of paper. Like I would have had to cut out a green one, this color green, and this color green, and purple, and a yellow, so on and so forth, right? I could do that because I have all these colors papers. Over here in my tray, I have a whole thing of just paper in different colors. But what I did to do this, to make it easier and not cut up a bunch of pieces of paper, is I took my markers. I use Copics. These are my Spectrum Noirs. But I took my Copic markers and all I did was I scribbled. Just like this. I just scribbled a bunch of color all of these colors that you see. And then I took the die and cut them out. And I saved this to show you that you don't need a whole bunch of different colors. Just like the stuff I just did to make that other paper with the blue, I have a bunch of these different colors. You could do the same things with your markers. And when you have to cut out something, scribble your color on the paper that you want to cut it out, and voila, you have different colors to cut out your dies with, as opposed to having a bunch of paper, because paper is expensive. And the weight may not be good, or it may not look good, or it might be it won't soak in correctly when you're using your markers. It might not be the right kind of paper, or you might need watercolor paper when you're watercoloring. You can do this and make this and have all these. So I literally used a half a sheet of a half a sheet of a half a sheet and got all my little cutouts. Like literally, this was a quarter sheet of paper, and I cut some off because I had to make another piece. And so I did the same thing, which you'll see in a minute. So that's how I cut out all of these little flowers. And in here's those shingles I was telling you about. So I don't really want to open that up, but I want to hold these flowers so they won't fall off and get lost, which is what'll end up happening. Okay, so I took my mini Misty, and I fought for a long time, and I listened to everybody talk about the price of this mini Misty, and I bought the Tim Holtz one, and it's bigger, and so it take up more space, and now I can sit at my tray table and make stuff, and I love this mini Misty, and yes, it did cost more than the Tim Holtz one, but it's so compact that when I'm making a 4 1/4 by 5.5 card, it's perfect. So don't let other people tell you don't buy this, don't get this, don't do this, whatever. Don't let people do that. Get stuff that you want. Because now I done bought the Tim Holtz one, and then I backtracked and bought the mini Misty, when if I'd have just bought this one, I wouldn't have had to spend that extra $30 for the other one. And I think this one cost me $40 or $45. And it's exactly the right size. So I digress. Okay, so this was my little window box. It's just like the one that I made right here. The only difference is I colored this with a pen. I used I didn't use these pens. I used my Copics. So I have Copics, and I have a tub of Copics. So I have the Spectrum Noirs, and I'm going to eventually do either a haul or a giveaway to give away all of my Spectrum Noir markers. I have all of them in the set, in the case, and I like them, but I don't like them. So this is my Spectrum Noir case, and it's probably right in your face, but this is my Spectrum Noir case. Let me see, can I back you up a little bit more? Yeah. See that? This is my Spectrum Noir markers. I have all of them. This is the older set, and I hate these things. And I hate them because the tip on them is what's called a bullet tip. And I don't like bullet tips. I like the tips. See, this is a bullet tip. If you can see that. This little bullet tip. I hate that little thing. But on the Copics, see that? The difference, you can flick with this. And that's why I like it, because I can flick with this. And what I mean is I can do this. See how I'm coming in and coming off to a point? I can flick with that. With this, I can't flick with that. It drives me crazy. And so I'm going to get rid of these things. What I might do is, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because I spent $400 and really about $450 on that. All of those markers, which is actually not that bad considering Copics. I spent a whole lot more on these few Copics compared to them. I only have 85 Copics, And I spent more for the Copics than I did for the whole case of the Spectrum Noirs. But just like I said, you like what you like. And so let me, where's my little, I have right on the side of me, I have, a container with glues and tools and stuff. And so this was the little bitty, our little chair that I want to make. And it's not going to take me but a hot minute, y'all, to color this in as soon as I find the right color blend mix. And I'm only going to do a 2-color mix for this chair. And so all I'm going to do is I'm making this chair a quick purple. I'm not a major colorist, which a lot of people are. I'm not, but I do dabble. Those 2 colors are not the right colors to go together. Nope. So guess what I'm gonna do? This chair is gonna be purple. And it's all gonna be purple. The red chair, I'd use 3 colors on that chair. But this chair is gonna be purple. Because once you put the window on top of it, ain't nobody thinking about seeing nothing but the chair. They ain't caring about no 3-color blend. So you don't have to be all perfection-ish. When you're doing craft stuff, you're supposed to do craft stuff to have fun. Okay, and so my little chair is going to be purple. Should we make it purple and white? Let's make it purple and white. We're going to make my chair purple and white. We're going to leave them arms white. Okay, now we're going to color the legs of this brown. And the reason why I'm making sure that I color the legs also is because you're going to see them. You're going to be able to see the legs in a design. And don't worry about going out the lines on stuff, because if I really wanted to worry about going out of line, I would use my color blender and push the color back in. I'm coloring my little pot brown to match the legs of my chair. And then I'm going to get a green and I'm going to color in my little plant here, or whatever this is, bush, sit next to my chair. And don't worry about these types of stamps are very abstract-ish stamps too. So if you go out the lines, you see that there's a line here. So if I go out, I'm not really going out the lines because there's no connection there. But I'm telling you, don't be so uptight about when you're coloring and stuff. It has got to be perfect. Crafting is made to be fun and relaxing and that kind of stuff. So don't be uptight about it. I mean, I understand if you're doing a job for somebody, you want it to look right and be the best you can be. But you have to let people know when you're doing especially a crafting job, that this is handmade, not machine made. And so when you're working, people get all bent out of shape. Oh my God, it's not perfect. Well, they're handmade products. None of them are perfect. None of them are perfect. What color should I do this pillow? Let's do it in a yellow. We're going to be purple and yellow. Hey, okay. I'll do the purple and yellow and make our sides yellow. So they're not just stark white. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, and it's crazy because even though I did this little bitty scene of just purple and yellow, if I'd have had done the couch with 3 colors, I would have used 3 purples. I would have used 2 yellows, 2 browns, a green, and just think, all of them for this this little bitty scene. And that's the reason why you have so many um you have so many colors of, because people like, why do you have so many colors? That's why. Because if you're mixing and blending or whatever you're doing, you're gonna have a lot of colors. So don't be like, beat up yourself because you want to. If you like me, I have what's called full set syndrome, that I have to have all of it to the, because it don't seem right if I don't have it all, because I'm gonna be missing a color, or I'm gonna be missing a step or whatever. So when you're doing this, don't beat yourself up because you like your products. And I have a lot of stuff, but I have been crafting since I was 12. I started sewing at 12 years old. And so I have been building up and watching sales, because I refuse to buy too much craft stuff that's full price. I want it to be on sale. Now, I won't buy regular stuff, because everybody who know me know I don't like dressing up. I don't like none of that. But I will buy some craft stuff in a heartbeat. I love my craftiness. And so I will buy me some craft stuff all the time. I won't buy no shoes, but I buy me some craft stuff. I surely will. I'll buy me some crafts in a minute. Okay, so what I did was I popped these all up the window. So now I was smart enough to measure this before I did it this time. And so it fits. And so now it looks like it's out the window. You're looking out the window. Right? You're looking out the window with our, and you can't tell I went out the lines or nothing, because who really cares? Who really wants to be that tedious and uptight and looking at, I went out the lines a little bit? Nobody. And if they do care, guess what? Too bad. Okay, next we're going to put our little window box grass right here, because remember, I'm making the card to make it look like somebody is looking out the window, looking in the window. They're looking at you in your window. Let's not have peeping times, okay? But we just looking in the window. And then this one, I colored it red. I just colored the paper red, and then I cut this out, and this is our window box. And so the window box will go right over that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some more of these little pop dots, and I'm going to pop up this window base just like that. And what I did was I took it and I put my finger right in the middle like that to give it a curve, just so it can have a little curve, so it can look like the flowers is sticking in the curve. Don't think I'm throwing these things on the floor. My trash is sitting right next to me. Okay, and so we're going to stick that right on there. So there our window box. And then I have all of these little bitty flowers that I created. And I was going to do these beforehand, but I decided not to. But I got my little tweezers. And you can see that it's so many little bitty things that you need. But just collect a little bit at a time, right? Just a few. If you just collect just a few, you'll have what you need when you need it. And so I'm using my little tweezers. I'm dipping it in a little bit of glue. And I'm putting it on my little flower. Did I put glue on the flower or on my table? I think I put it on my table, not on my flower stem. Just like that. So I made the little flower. See our little flower? And then I'm just going to take a little glue, and I'm just going to stick it right there. Right in there. Okay. Adding a little bit more glue, because this is a Tim Holtz glass mat, and this glue will come right off of there. I'm using, I don't know what these tweezers are called, but these are different kind of tweezers. You press them to open them. See, you press them, and when you press them, they open. And when you let it go, it holds on to your stuff. I don't know what kind of tweezers these are, but they craft tweezers and they work perfectly, and I love them. Okay, so there we go. We got our next little flower, and I'm gonna dip this in some more glue, and I'm gonna stick that right in there. Right. Okay, stay on there. There we go. There go another flower. I'm gonna do that again. See, these little bitty pieces came out of this set. That's what this is. That's that leaf, and that's that bigger leaf, and these are the flowers that go to it. And so they're cute little designs. They just small. But I didn't want to torture y'all by actually doing these on camera, because it would have took me 10 minutes to cut these things out. So I did them beforehand because I didn't want to torture you. Okay, and let's stick our next flower in there. And I'm kind of sticking them in at an angle so they kind of look like they standing up, right? They're not sitting down. Okay, and then let me close up my glue because I have a tendency not to do that, and I have dried out glue. And then I'm gonna take my last little flower and dip it in a little bit of glue. And the best thing about the fact that you ain't got to do nothing, once it grab onto that, whatever it is, then it gives you time to place it wherever it's going. And you can hold on to it without worrying. That's why I love these little tweezers. And so here go the next one, the next little flower that's going in our window box. Just like that. And so now it kind of looks, it's starting to resemble flowers on the outside and a picture on the inside. And it's coming to life, as it were. Our little picture is coming to life. Okay. So see how quickly I was able to get that glue up. That's because this glass mat it works wonders. I love it. Little glass mat. Okay. And so next, we need to say something. We need to say something to somebody. So I'm going to say, I'm going to use, where is that? I have the one that says, thinking of you. I'm going to put you're awesome this time instead of thinking of you. And so all you have to do, since I just worked, you see how I worked in my little Misty? I worked in here on purpose to show you how convenient it is just to keep your stuff right here. Just to keep it right here. And then I'm going to take my stamp and I'm putting it right underneath there. I'm going to pull it up with my Misty, my You're Awesome. I'm going to take, oh, here it is, my ink pad. Let's bring you back in a little bit more so you can see this. And this is the reason why you have a Misty. So if I would have stamped this with a regular stamp block that looked like this type of thing, I would have had to been perfect the first time. But with my Misty, you see it look a little light. All I got to do is add a little bit more color on there. And I know it's good this time. And there we go. And voila. And now we have a card. Isn't that cute? A card that you can send to your friends, something really quick, something that they will appreciate that you did for them. And so all I'm going to do is my usual. I'm going to take an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I'm going to cut it 5. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do this time? I'm going to cut it at the 4 1/4 and make it a long card, 4 1/4. Instead of doing it the fold out way this way, I'm going to show you a different method to do this. So I took, what did I do with my little, oh, on my left hand side is a table with a shelf. And so all my stuff is down there. So instead of cutting it at 5 1/2 and scoring at 4 1/4, this time I cut it at 4 1/4 and I'm going to score at 5 1/2. So I'm just putting a crease. I just put a little crease in my card right there. Put a crease at the 5 1/2 and I'm going to score it. Thank you, Kylo. I appreciate that. And voila. Now, instead of a side facing card like this, I have a top facing card like this. And so now this will go directly on top of there. And now it becomes a card. But isn't this a little boring? It's a little boring to me, right? It might just be me. But I think we need to add some color around the edges to this to make it a little bit more not so stark white. So I'm going to take one of my distress inks. Come on. See, I have a case of distress inks. And I'm going to distress around the edges of this so it don't look so stark white. So whoever gets this card, don't be like, oh, it's cute, but it's just so white. And so I'm just going around the edges and adding some color. And you do this a lot of times so that your card don't look so white. Or you don't have to add another sheet of paper. Because normally I would cut this down to like 3 3/4 by 5. And I would make it put another card in the middle. And instead of doing that, I can just give it some color. Just like this. You give it some color all the way around. So that just added a whole nother dimension and it makes it look like it has some color and it's not so boring to be all white. Okay, now I'll put this back and put it back into my case. The one thing that I do the one thing that I make sure I do after I'm done with stuff is I put it back where it goes, because I have so much stuff and I can't stand clutter around me. After I'm done with something, I always put it back up. No, the color doesn't matter. It only matters if you just don't want it to look what I call boring. So that white on white was just boring to me. And so I just really wanted to add some color to it to make it a little bit, oh, I lost my piece of paper. What I don't want to do is, I don't want to put it where I just put this color. You see all that color I just pulled up? I don't want to make my card in that space. And it's wet now, of course. That was brilliant, Chineva. Okay, I know what to do. You gotta be innovative. And so now I got my card base. I got this card front. And voila, now all I have to do is write some on the inside and we have a card. As opposed to just stamping something on the front of a card. Because I've showed you a lot of different cards where I just stamped stuff. Well, this one has a little bit more personality and people will love it. People will love getting a card because they knew that you took your time to make something beautiful for them. So there we go. And so I just really wanted to pop in today and do a Crafty Sunday video for everybody so you can see some things that I got in from craft day, from HSN, which was Tuesday, and how I'm using it so that we will not be at home bored. We will have the opportunity to do some stuff with the supplies that we have. So make sure you join me on my YouTube channel. It is Dr. Chineva Early, and I have a bunch of craft card videos that I put up maybe every other day, every few days, so that we can. Thank you, honey. Thank you. I appreciate it. So then you get a chance to see all of my work. I don't have a fancy name like everybody because I used to have Craft Doctor on it, but you know your Google account is set up along with all of your stuff with your YouTube channel and Facebook and stuff. So when I used to do emails, important emails, it used to say Craft Doctor on there, and I'd be like, oh no. And so I just changed it. So now it just says Dr. Chineva Early. But remember, I am the Craft Doctor because I love crafts. And don't forget about the Sewing and Craft Academy that is coming as soon as we get done with this situation. We will be opening up the Craft Academy over at Love Life Family Christian Center over here in East Point on Topher. And we will have crafts for people to come, relax, get out the house, and have something to do. And the crafts, they won't be very expensive classes. They will mostly include supplies, a lot of paper crafting, mostly paper crafting, but also jewelry making and knitting, loom knitting. We might do some ceramic pieces. It just depends on what we have in store. We're going to try to have some music classes for people. Do I ever buy at Michael's? I do. I do go to Michael's and buy stuff. I am a craftaholic, Carlo. I'm a craftaholic, and so I will go to Michael's and I will scoop out the prices, and then I will go online and find it and see if it's cheaper. And if it's cheaper, I'll buy it in other places. But I like to go to Michael's to walk around the store and see ideas and pick up odds and ends type. But if you've seen my room, I really don't need to buy anything. Thank you, Mr. Early. Yes, that is the address, 17363 Topher. That is where the Sewing and Craft Academy will be held. The classes will be held. But yeah, I do go shop at Michael's. I shop at Hobby Lobby. I shop at Tuesday morning for crafts because Tuesday morning have some great sales. And I do most of my shopping online though because I watch a lot of crafting videos and a lot of the sets like Diamond Press, the kit that I bought that has this where I got this marquise from. It was on HSN, but Diamond Press has a store, and if you go back a couple of days ago, you will on my YouTube channel, you will see a haul from Diamond Press that I did that I purchased directly from. That's this kit here. Oh, you know what? Look at this one I pulled out, Carlo. Guess what this is? Look, it's Christmas. Yeah, it's Christmas stuff, and I normally don't buy Christmas stuff, but this is Christmas tags and dies, and so I can do some Christmas cards with this. Like this is the shaker card kit. And it has a little sample thing. See, it has a little sample thing on how to make them, which Diamond Press didn't do that. When is the classes? We're going to start them off on Saturdays all day long. We'll have a 9 to noon. We're going to break for lunch for an hour, and then we'll have a 1 to whatever time we finish. And so it's going to be kind of an all day on Saturdays. I was going to try to do them during the week also, but when people get off work, they don't really want to come and do spend the afternoon doing any crafty stuff unless it's at home. So we might try a weekday, but probably not. We probably just do it on Saturdays because we'll also be teaching sewing classes also. So you may do sewing in the morning and make a project, and then in the afternoon you'll do like paper crafting or jewelry making or whatever it is. I have stacks and stacks of clay that I use for my dented heart pins. And we'll be doing stuff like that. We'll learn all kinds of stuff. And so I do a lot of paper crafting. We'll be making mini albums and we'll be painting pictures because I have a lot of paint. So I have gouache and I have acrylic paint and I have watercolors. I have watercolor pencils. And one of the things that I really want to do is some of our designs, pictures. I want us to color them in and put them in shadow box frames. And so now you have a home decor piece. And so, I think I showed you before one of this right here. This is from, Stampscape Stamps. Well, this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece, but we're going to make an 11 by 17 and an 8 by 10. So then you have these portraits that you color in, and now it becomes a home decor piece. And so that's the kind of stuff we're going to be using, and we're going to be doing, and it's going to be fun. I think that people will really enjoy coming out on a Saturday, and we will offer it probably every Saturday, but I don't ask people to come every Saturday unless you want to. I mean, I go crafting every Friday night. I used to go every Friday night, and this was because the same people came and we sat there and we had fun and did projects. And so that's all I want to do. I created this so we can just kind of have fun doing some fun stuff because we spend our whole week working and taking care of families and stuff, and we need to have some fun sometimes. So that was all. So this was our Crafty Sunday project. Next week, I think we're going to be Team Lawn Fawn. So I have a lot of Lawn Fawn stamps, but I really want to use that new stamp set. I think it's called the Blossom stamp set, where you open and close it, and so the top of it has the design, and then you open it up and there's a design underneath. And so I will probably do that next week, and so we'll be Team Lawn Fawn next week. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Carlo. I appreciate this. Text me your address, and guess what? You can have this card because you know I have a bunch of them, and so I really want to send them out to people who that is really support me. So text me your address because and I can send you this card because you are awesome, and I appreciate you being with me tonight on Crafty Sunday. All right, I will see you all next week for our next edition of Crafty Sunday, Team Lawn Fawn. And look for other videos on my YouTube channel, Dr. Chineva Early. We can have some fun things going on. I might do a few lawn fawn things this week over there. So, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.